Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Corinne. Welcome to the husband Q&A. This is my husband, Aiden.
Hi guys.
He's very nervous, as you can tell. Alright, so I have a ton of questions here. I actually didn't expect to get this many questions, and we're gonna try and go through all of them and answer them for you guys. First question is, how did you guys adjust to moving to a new place away from home, and was it easy? So I'll answer first.
Okay.
So when I first moved to Spokane, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a job for like 2 months. We moved in November after our honeymoon. Well, I moved in November. He moved in September before we got married. But I didn't have a job until January, mid-January. So at first I liked it because I had a ton of free time and stuff, but it got really old and I got kind of depressed because I didn't have a job, I had nothing to do, no responsibility, no friends, no family, nobody was here for me. So, and it was winter time, and winter in Spokane sucks because it's very snowy and I hate driving in the snow because it's really scary. But now it's getting better. Our neighbors are like our best friends now, which is great. And I have 2 jobs. I'm busy. I'm building up a clientele with makeup here, so it's getting better. In the beginning, it was really rough.
So my transition was completely different than Corinne's. I moved in September. The day actually we got the keys to the house, I moved all my stuff up here and was alone. September, October, until November 2nd, I came down for our wedding, which was very hard on me. I'm not very big into change. I lived in the same house in the same room for almost 22 years. Yeah. So the change was very drastic.
I thought you liked it.
I liked it, but being alone isn't very fun, especially for that long of a period of time. I had no friends.
You had Drago, but that was it.
I had a dog, that's about it. I had my coworkers that I'd see at 8 a.m. and then I would go out and not have any contact with anyone for the rest of the day, which was very sucky.
The next question is, what do you guys think of that Jordan guy you went to high school with? I heard he's a real catch. Jordan, you are a catch. We both love you. You know that I love you. Aiden loves you too, right? You love Jordan?
I do love Jordan. I didn't know much of Jordan in high school until really I met Kevin.
Jordan calls me Kevin.
But since then, we've talked a couple times and we've spoken over phone calls and stuff like that, or said hi via text through Corinne. And yeah, he's a big catch. I'm
gonna put up his Instagram handle right here so that you guys can check him out. He's single, he's cute, he's a hard worker, and he's actually a really, really good person. So, ladies, get on it. All right, so somebody asked, was this a love marriage? Like, did we get married for love, or is it arranged? And it was a serious question. She's from a different country, and she lives in a country where there's often arranged marriages. So, you want to answer that?
It was arranged.
Yep, our parents got together and decided they wanted to ship us off.
Nah, it was arranged in heaven. Nah, pure love.
Yes, definitely a love marriage.
3 years of dating, 3 days.
It was like 3 days. It's like 3.5 years of dating before we got married. I kind of always knew I was gonna get married young. I don't know if he did. I don't think he thought he was gonna
I wanted to, for sure. Yeah. I didn't know if I was going to though.
Okay, so the next question is, who does Pastel love more? And if you don't know who Pastel is, she's our puppy. She just turned 1 on June 6th. I have an Instagram page for her. I'll put it right here if you guys want to follow her. She is the cutest, and I'm just gonna answer this and say she loves me more.
Not even.
Yeah, she does.
No.
She does attack him with love a lot more than she attacks me with love, but the way that you can tell like that she loves me more is when I walk out of the room, like to go to the bathroom or go into our room or wherever, she follows me. So
because she gives him food everywhere.
Yeah, I do give him treats a lot, but she definitely does love me more. So this one says, what are your guys' most embarrassing stories? So I'll go first. This one was recent. It wasn't last winter, but it was the winter before last. Wait, I think it was last winter. In the Tri-Cities, during winter time, it gets very cold, like freezing temperatures to like to the point where you can't roll your windows down because they're frozen solid. And one day I was going through the Starbucks drive-thru and my window wouldn't roll down. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna open up my door, give her the money, all of that. So I was kind of far away from the window. So I opened my door and stepped out of my car to hand her the money. And my car starts rolling away because I forgot to put it in park. And I start screaming, I'm like, oh my gosh, my car! And so I have to run because the Starbucks drive-thru was kind of on a hill. So like my car would have rolled off onto a hill and down into traffic. So I started running after my car, jumped in it as fast as I could, slammed on the brakes, and then had to reverse, go back to the window and grab my drink. And the lady was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I didn't put it in park, but it was so freaking embarrassing. Like, who doesn't put their car in park and then has their car start rolling away?
People do it a lot. Okay guys, so I don't have like crazy embarrassing stories.
He doesn't ever get embarrassed. He has no embarrassing stories at all.
But I was longboarding after work one day and I had like a coffee in my hand. I was going down the river path in Richland, and I hit a crack in the path and I flew forward, threw my drink like 10 feet in front of me. It splattered everywhere. Got up, was like, ow, that hurt. Kept longboarding for a couple more miles, and then it like really started to hurt. So I went back to the car and went home, and then just the pain persisted. I ended up breaking my hand. But like the most embarrassing part is when I was falling, there was a lady like right in front of me, and I think I hit her with my drink a little bit. And she
splattered it all over.
She looked at me and was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm not okay. And just got up and like sped off because I was all embarrassed.
This question is for me. She's asking, what is your heritage? You seem mixed. I could be wrong, but you look like you have some Indian in you. And then she says, hashtag I was there before you hit 1,000 followers, hashtag diehard fan. That's so cute, thank you. So my heritage is Native American. I was actually born, I'm Cherokee. I know every girl says, oh, I'm Cherokee. Like, no, I actually am Cherokee. I am so much Cherokee that I actually could have free college, but my mom never signed us up for that. And I actually tried to go through like ancestry.com and stuff and like get my tribe card and all of that stuff, but unfortunately my mom never got the information for me and it's just too hard to track down. So, and then I was actually born with the Cherokee spot, like the Cherokee birthmark on my butt. So I don't know what else I am. I think Irish and stuff, but mainly Cherokee.
When she does double braids her hair, she parts it down the, like right down the middle and does 2 braids. It is very obvious that she's Native American. Like,
everyone asks me though, like I always get that question, people confused. I literally in high school had some guy sign my yearbook and say, you're my favorite Mexican. I was like, dude, I'm not Mexican. Like people are always confused. I've gotten that question my whole entire life, like what are you? You look mixed. So let's answer that. Next question. How did you guys meet?
high school.
High school. We met in photography class. I was in that class. He wasn't. He didn't have a first hour and he would just come into
Mr. Murphy's class.
Yeah, my class early and like hang out and talk to people. So we met in high school. And then Aiden, first impression of KURIN.
My first impression of KURIN, she was actually with another boy at the time.
I had a thing with another guy.
But I thought she was gorgeous. Like there was no doubt about it. I mean, look at her, come on. I saw her with this other guy and was like, I have to meet this girl. And then after school, I think either that day or the next day,
oh, yeah.
She came through the car wash that I was working at the time with her mom and threw me a fat wink.
I literally winked at him.
across the car when I was scrubbing the windshield. And from that moment, I just knew that I had to
snatch me up.
Exactly.
All right, so what do you like most about me?
Your drive. You're really driven to do this, like to be an influencer or have a huge following, like tons of subs on YouTube, doing whatever, whether it be makeup or like vlogging life or stuff like this.
Describe me in 4 words.
Oof. Loving, bratty, for sure.
That's horrible.
You know it's true though.
I am. I'm a brat.
Caring and sass master.
Sassy and bratty are pretty much the
Not
same.
even.
Okay. So we got a million questions about like how did we know each other was the one.
She's just perfect. You know, you said checklist for yourself, and KURIN crossed off more than every single one of my expectations. She's literally like my everything. She's my better half for sure, and that's how I knew. So
how I knew he was the one. Way before I met him, I was like in a relationship with another guy. I didn't even live in the Tri-Cities. And my mom, like I asked her, like, how will I know when this guy is gonna be the one I wanna marry? And everyone just goes like, oh, you'll know, you'll just know. I'm like, well, how?
That doesn't work.
Yeah, how will I know? So basically my mom told me if I could replace the guy's name with love in 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8. So like Aiden is patient, Aiden is kind, Aiden does not envy, all of that. I actually put that in my vows.
Cry.
Because that's what true love is. In the Bible, it's explaining what love is. So if I could honestly and truthfully replace his name with love in that verse and it be true and honest, then that's how I would know. Next question is favorite high school memory together and why?
So I actually stole hers because I said it first.
We weren't even dating yet, but we were like dating.
We were like days away from dating.
Well, basically in the beginning we decided we wanted to take things slow and become friends. So we had set like this date. We were like, okay, May 10th, I think it was, we said we'll start dating if we want to like pursue this relationship. And we started hanging out in end of February, I think so. So his memory is in that time.
So we went out to lunch one day and went and got Roasters, which is a coffee house in the Tri-Cities. And we went down to the river and we're just walking along the river on these big boulders and jumping back and forth and being all lovey and kissing each other. And
that was the first time that you actually like kissed me.
Because our first kiss was a fake.
Our first kiss would have been perfect if he didn't freaking ruin it. So I'll tell you guys that story so you can have like kind of a backstory of why this is his favorite memory. His thing was he didn't want to kiss unless we were officially dating. I kept like trying to kiss him and stuff and he would like turn away and like, or he would kiss me on my forehead or something. Like, it was his way of being respectful and I get that. But one day he took me up to what's called the top of the universe. Everybody from Tri-Cities will know where that is. But basically it's like this hill. Everyone likes to go there at nighttime. Because of all the pretty lights and you can see all the city and it's just really pretty. So he took me up there. I think it was my first time up there. And we sat on top of his Jeep.
It was freezing cold.
Yeah, he gave me his Letterman's jacket because he was in track. And we were just sitting on top of the Jeep, looking at the pretty view, all the twinkling lights at night. And we were talking and like we were so, like our faces were like this close to each other. So I went in to kiss him and he didn't even kiss me back. He was literally
flat face,
like flat lips. I was like, that would have been literally the perfect first kiss for us, except he didn't kiss me back.
I ruined it.
He's like, I didn't know you were gonna kiss me. I'm like, dude, our faces are 1 inch apart. How did you not get that? So basically his memory is like, his favorite memory of us is when we actually did like kiss each other back.
Yeah.
So my favorite memory of us, like we have so many good memories, but my favorite memories, I guess, is every single day after school, he would drive me home in his Jeep and we would always park right in front of my house and we'd sit there and just talk for hours and hours and hours. And he would skip track practice for me every single day. Literally He'd be like, I have to go to practice, and then we would just talk and talk and talk, and then he would skip practice, and then he would get in trouble with his coach. But I loved it because it was so like movies, you know, like in the movies, that's what happened. So it was really cute. Okay, next question is, how much do you guys love me? Andros
to death.
Asked that.
To death.
Yes, we love you, Andros. Andros is one of my faves ever. All right, so if your husband breaks your favorite makeup item, what will your reaction be and what will your first statement be? So what would you say to him? I would be upset, obviously. It'd be like, what? I mean, it would probably be an accident if he ever broke anything. But my first statement would be, what happened? What did you do? And then I'd just make him
buy you a new one.
Rebuy it. Okay, next question. When will you have kids? I'm gonna answer this for the both of us. If it was up to Aiden, it would be in 10 years.
No, not 10 years.
It would be in a long
couple.
time. A long time. For me, I want to have kids.
Right now.
No. Like, I would be happy with starting to try in like 6 months or something like that. Because we never know how long it's gonna take.
So she'd be perfectly okay if we were pregnant like right now?
Yeah, I would be. I would be fine with that. So in what moment did you fall in love? That's a pretty good question, and I don't really know how to answer that because I feel like our relationship just progressed and we went along with it. Like, I can't really remember an exact moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm in love with you. It just kind of like happened and we both knew. And then to go along with that question, could you feel it at the same time or was it at different points in your relationship for like me and for him?
It had to have been different points in the relationship because no one moves at the same pace.
Right.
Like you both have to feel each other out and everyone moves how they want to move and do what they want to do in the relationship, and no couple can say that they're perfectly in sync and know that they were both fully in love with each other at the same exact moment.
I don't know who fell in love first.
Me.
Probably. This is a really good one. How did your parents' relationship affect your view on yours? Did any of their good or bad rub off onto you? Did you learn from them what or what not to carry into a relationship? I think I'll answer that first. So, a little background. My parents are divorced. His parents aren't. My mom is a very independent person. And my parents were never like lovey-dovey. I never really saw them kiss. My parents just were never happy and they kind of stayed together for the kids. So growing up, I never saw parents that were in love and I never knew what that looked like. I never knew what a healthy relationship looked like. So I think that when me and Aiden were like serious, it was hard for me to figure out like where I stand in a relationship, what's appropriate for me to do, what his role in the relationship is, because I didn't have a relationship to look up to. Like, my grandparents have been married since they were 16, but
50 years.
They've been together forever. But again, I didn't like look up to them the way I looked up to my parents. So my mom is a very independent person and she kind of was the main parent. None of us kids really got along with my dad growing up. And so mom was the good guy and dad was the bad guy. So I kind of learned like, okay, the woman in the relationship is independent and can walk all over the guy. So it was kind of difficult and still is very difficult for me to know my role in a marriage because I grew up in such a negative aspect with marriage. And I think affection played another part in it too. For a long time, I did not want any affection from Aiden. Like for a full year, I was just like, I didn't want to kiss him, I didn't want to hug him because I never saw my mom and dad doing that. And it was really difficult for Aiden because I think his parents, they show affection, like a good amount. So I can definitely say that I think that your parents' marriage does rub off on you.
For sure.
Whether you realize it or not. And I think I really started realizing it once me and Aiden began to have issues because I do walk all over him. I try not to, but I'm like my mom, just kind of independent, like he said, sassy, bratty. Definitely for me, negativity from my parents' relationship has rubbed off on me, and it's been a struggle, and it will continue to be a struggle for a long time. But it's good that I realize it and can kind of combat that and go on from there. So that's my answer to that question.
I think my parents, their relationship definitely affected me and how I view relationships and how I go about them. My parents have been married for 27 years, and they're literally goals. They're so in love still. They do everything together.
There's no chance that they would ever split up.
No way. They're literally perfect for each other.
Yeah.
They're what I look into that I want our marriage to be in 26 years, you know, because they've got a great marriage and a great relationship other than marriage. They are friends before they were married, for sure, and it's easy to tell that. And that definitely affects the way that I went about this marriage, because I see things and I do it. I very much like my dad, and I'm very much like his
dad. And it's good because his dad is an amazing man. So Aiden has a really good role model to look up to. So I would say Aiden has brought in positive from his parents' relationship, and I've brought in negative. That's our answer.
Opposites attract.
Yes, opposites attract. What are little habits that we have that drive each other crazy?
Okay, I got that first.
What is
so when you go shopping, and you get tags on clothes, you know, the little clear plastic thing that's like this big. KURIN pulls those off and chews on them. And
not things that I don't buy. Things that I buy.
Takes home. But it is, I don't know why, it is the most like annoying thing to me.
He literally will rip it out of my mouth when he sees it. He doesn't like it at all. I just like to chew on it. I don't know why. My whole life I've always done that. His habit, I don't really know if it's necessarily a habit, but it's something that he does that annoys me, is especially when he was driving his Jeep, he would park at the farthest parking spot possible and make us walk like a mile into the movies or the store, wherever we were, because he didn't want his Jeep vandalized.
Whether it was 0 degrees or 110 degrees, I was the farthest parking spot I could get.
What are habits that we have that make each other happy? So I have one. So Aiden, whenever he sees something gross, like we're watching TV and it's like gory, like someone being cut open or something, he always goes like this to his beard, and it always makes me laugh because I always know that he's getting grossed out by what he's watching.
Beard neck, I take these, like run it down my neck.
Yep, and I always look at him and I laugh because it's so funny. I know that he thinks it's gross, and I'm always like, babe, it's fake. It's not real. No one is really getting cut up, but he still gets grossed out by it. And that's like his coping mechanism to what he's watching.
So one thing, or one habit that KURIN has that I like, or that makes me happy, KURIN is in the habit of wearing false lashes like 365 days a year. You
love that?
I love it.
Why?
Because I just do. I love the fluffies on the...
Oh my god.
I like the eye weaves. I like them.
Okay. I guess that's his favorite thing. How do you get through tough things in marriage, like money and making time for each other? So I don't think that we've had like real issues with money before.
No.
Except for when I didn't have a job, but I had a good savings, so it didn't really matter. But making time for each other is kind of a tough one because I work such late hours. I work 12s, and then one of my families lives about 40 minutes away, so I'll get off at like 8:15 and won't get home until 9. Then we shower, make dinner, and go to bed. But we always like watch a show, at least one show before going to bed. And I think that's kind of like our time during the week. And then on the weekends, we don't ever have issues making time for each other.
Unless I'm on call.
Yeah, unless you're on call, which is what, every 8 weeks or whatever?
I think 12, yeah.
We're always together on the weekends.
like 24 hours a day on the weekends.
Yeah, so.
We always make at least an hour of the day for each other.
Right.
We'll stay up late if I get off late, or if she works till 9, you know, we make dinner and do stuff. But we always have like an hour a day that we're with each other.
How does Aiden like how much makeup you wear?
I love it. I grew up, my sister being a MAC professional makeup artist, and she was freelance, and my mom's always worn mascara, blush, foundation. So I've been around it. I love it. I
feel like when we first started dating, you liked natural girls. I feel like you were that guy.
I'd love you without makeup on.
Yeah.
I love you both ways. But I am for sure her biggest supporter in her makeup endeavors.
Would you get, or do you have any matching tattoos together?
So we do not currently have any matching tattoos. Our styles for tattoos are vastly different. KURIN is colorful floral, and I'm in the midst of like 3 to 4 color Sailor Jerry American traditional tattoos.
Well, you have this arm that we don't really know what's going on with.
I don't know what's going on over there.
But, so basically he has like a color arm that he just gets random pieces, and then he has a black and white arm that he hasn't worked on in a long time, like 2 years. Yeah, 3 years almost. I definitely think that he'll get a tattoo for me. We've talked about him like getting a lipstick for me, because this is kind of, I don't know. Like we have our honeymoon tattoo right here, and I don't know, it's just kind of like a random arm of tattoo, so I think that's where the lipstick would go, especially since it's colorful. Would we get matching tattoos together?
For sure.
I think we would.
I think we will.
Yeah. We would just have to decide on what it would be.
And where.
I definitely will not be getting a ring tattoo, not because I don't think we're gonna stay married forever. I know he would get a ring tattoo, but I just don't think it would look good on my hands because I have such tiny hands, and finger tattoos blow out like crazy and they look like crap in like a year or two, always, no matter what you do. Even if you get touch-ups, they always end up looking crappy. So I don't want even just like a black line on my hand.
The black line wouldn't even fit under her ring.
Right, because my actual wedding band is so thin that I don't want it. But we would get matching tattoos. I just don't know what it would be. So this is the last question, and it says, what advice would you give for when you first start dating somebody? So I will answer that first. I would say my biggest advice is be very, very, very picky when you see red flags, or if they're treating you badly, or if they're being shady, ignoring you, whatever it may be, something that bothers you and it doesn't go away, you need to get out of the relationship as soon as you can, because the longer you put up with it, the harder it is to get out of the relationship. Because if you just keep saying, oh, it's fine, like they apologize, whatever it is, the longer you're together, the harder it is to separate. So like after a year, and then 2 years, and 3 years, and 4 years, and then you're like, well, I've been with this person for 4 years, might as well just spend the rest of my life with them, and then be miserable. So I think that my biggest advice would just be to be very picky, and if there's something you don't like, address it, and if it's not resolved and it keeps happening, then you need to break up. And of course, there's things that are gonna bother you about your significant other. Like,
always.
We have things about each other that we don't like. That's normal. Cut people off, make the best decisions for you. That's my advice.
I'd have to say to just be true to yourself. I don't care who you are or where you are in life. You always put on your best face when you're first starting to talk to someone. And
on your best behavior.
Best personality, best behavior, everything. I'd say just to throw that out the window. I feel like it's not a good practice, because after 6 months, when you're comfortable with someone, they're gonna be like, whoa, where is this person that I started talking to 6 months ago? You've changed so much. And that kind of goes both ways. If the person is Mr. or Mrs. Perfect, you know, chances are that they're putting on the best of themselves or a false face. And that's just something you need to look out for, because there's no way that someone's gonna be perfect off the get-go. Like, it's not realistic to meet someone and be like, oh my gosh, they're literally perfect. And it's not realistic for you to be like, to be perfect. Be yourself and just let that person love who you are from the get-go.
That's a good one. All right, well, that is the end of our Q&A. We're gonna be filming The Husband Does My Makeup Challenge, and he's so nervous about it.
Well, look at this, I have to be perfect.
No, it doesn't. The point of the video is it's funny because the husband or boyfriend or fiance, whoever it is, doesn't really know what they're doing. So that's the funny part of it. So we're gonna film that tomorrow. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you follow me on all of my social medias. I always put them right here down below for you guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.